Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we've got an incredible stack of sources, and our mission is, well, it's pretty singular. We are going to try and cut right through the surface level tour of Addis Ababa.
Yeah, to get to the city's its true soul.
Exactly. Because when most people think of Addis, they picture the big landmarks, right?
Sure, the usual suspects. You've got the huge sweeping views from Enta Hill. You have the National Museum, which is where you meet Lucy, our 3.2 million year old ancestor.
An astonishing piece of history.
It is, or, the spiritual weight of the Holy Trinity Cathedral. And these places are absolutely essential. They're like the introduction to the book.
Right, but they're just at the introduction. They don't quite capture the city's heart, that resilient living energy. Our sources suggest the real story of Addis isn't on any official map. It's found deep in the city's structure.
Yeah, and its hidden economies, these ancient rituals, and some pretty startling contrasts. I think that's the key insight we have to hold on to.
The authentic story is tucked away.
Almost intentionally, in these labyrinthine alleyways, these hidden courtyards, far from the main boulevards.
Okay, so let's unpack this. And I think we have to start with the most intense sensory experience the city has to offer, the Mercato.
Oh, absolutely. We're talking about arguably the largest open-air market in all of Africa.
And if you've ever been near that main thoroughfare, it's just a beautiful assault on the senses.
It's a total overwhelming cacophony. You have this constant river of people, the sound of relentless negotiation, and the air is just thick.
Thick with what?
Everything. Competing smells of exotic spices, burning incense, and then that layer of diesel exhaust from the old blue taxis.
So if you just stand on that main road, you're just seeing chaos.
Exactly. And I think that chaos is almost like a defense mechanism the city uses, because the sources stress that the real rhythm of commerce, it only begins when you turn your back on that main road.
You have to take a risk.
You do. You slip past a stack of worn tires, you veer into a much narrower, quieter alley.
And that's where everything changes.
The whole focus shifts. The chaos of, mass commodity trading just gives way to this specialized, generations-old craftsmanship.
And what's so fascinating is how these little microeconomies are still there, pushing back against all the pressures of modern life. We find the elderly artisans.
Yeah, walk us through what we see.
We see them sitting patiently, cross-legged, often just under a scrap of canvas to shield them from the sun.
In their hands, you can just see the history in their hands.
Decades of it. They're meticulously weaving these intricate patterns, creating the mesobs.
Which are the traditional, really vibrantly colored Ethiopian dining tables and baskets.
And the crucial detail here is this is not mass production.
No, not at all. This is about preserving a deep craft. The air right there is quiet. It smells of fresh-cut natural fibers and a very specific kind of leather polish.
An economic system built on time and skill, not on speed. And then, just moving past them, we find another ritual.
This one connects you right back to the origins of Addis as a community.
The kochi vendors.
The kochi vendors. Selling these mounds of roasted grains, nuts, legumes, often in these shockingly vibrant colors.
The sources call this the original Ethiopian energy snack.
It is. It's what sustained travelers and traders for centuries, long before packaged food was even a concept.
And the experience of buying it is key, isn't it?
Precisely. You go up to the vendor, and they don't just scoop it into a plastic bag. They measure out the mix into this small, tightly folded paper cone.
So that little transaction is part of a history as old as the city itself.
Yeah, it's a moment of simple foundational sustenance. A quiet interaction right in the middle of all that noise.
So we have this economic pulse, this commerce, that operates on a really complex rhythm. But if commerce is the rhythm, hospitality is the deeper drumbeat.
It is. It's the scent of memory, which leads us somewhere else entirely.
We have to follow that scent.
It's that rich, almost hypnotic aroma of roasting coffee. So we leave the commercial areas, we walk down what looks like a normal residential street, and then we're just drawn through an open gate.
Into a small, sun-drenched courtyard. And this is where it gets really essential.
Because this isn't just about drinking coffee.
No, this is the bunatitu. It is the absolute cornerstone of Ethiopian social life.
It's an elaborate, multi-sensory ritual, and it's designed entirely around turning strangers into guests and guests into friends.
How does it start?
It begins with the woman who is hosting. She's often sitting before a small, waist-high charcoal stove. It's called a furno.
Okay, so walk us through the actual process here that makes it so profound.
It starts with a blessing. She washes the green coffee beans right in front of you. It's a gesture of purity, of respect.
And then she roasts them.
Right there on the furno. And that smoky fragrance, that deep, rich smell, it's allowed to just fill the entire courtyard. It washes over you. It sets the tone. It's like a sensory welcome.
And the sound becomes part of it, too.
Absolutely. Once they're roasted, she doesn't use a machine. She uses a heavy mortar and pestle.
Grinding them by hand.
Yes. And that rhythmic thumping of the grinding becomes this quiet, steady drumbeat for the conversation that follows. Or sometimes just for a comfortable, shared silence.
The brewing pot itself, the jabina, that black clay pot is so iconic. But the real cultural insight is in the serving, which has a very specific structure.
This is the critical piece of the puzzle. The coffee is served in these tiny, handleless cups, but always in 3 distinct rounds. And it's not arbitrary.
The 3 rounds map onto the relationship being built.
That's it, exactly. They're named, too.
What are they called?
They are known as Awel, Kele, and Baraka. Awel, the first cup, is the initial greeting, the warm welcome.
The introduction.
Right. Then Kele, the second cup, that's the moment of bonding. That's where conversation really starts. It signifies deeper trust.
So it's a structural progression of intimacy.
Yeah.
And what about the final round? Baraka.
Baraka literally means blessing. It's the final cup, signifying completeness, a kind of spiritual fulfillment. Once you've shared the baraka, the bond is sealed. You're not just a guest anymore.
You're part of the community.
You've received the host's blessing. The whole structure transforms drinking coffee into a social contract.
Which sounds incredibly time-consuming. I mean, does this traditional process really survive in fast-paced modern Addis? Or is it more of a performance for outsiders?
That is a really important question. And what's fascinating is that while modern life is definitely encroaching, the Bunatetu endures, especially within families and in these small, dedicated courtyards.
Why does it survive?
Because it serves a function that speed can't replace. It forces slowness. It mandates a pause. It's a declaration that relationships and shared time matter more than efficiency.
So the conversation, whether it's about family or politics or the price of Berber spice, it becomes a moment of shared humanity.
That's it. A profound one.
That's a powerful contrast. So from that aromatic, intimate warmth, let's move to a place that deals with history and modernity in a very different way, the Piazza district.
Right. Now, Piazza isn't a secret. People know about the iconic Art Deco architecture from Emperor Haile Selassie's era.
It's a physical archive of that time.
It is, and it showcases that tension between the imperial past and the dynamic present. The whole district has this kind of faded elegance, but like everywhere else in Addis, the real gems are tucked away in plain sight.
And we find that essential contrast again, silence and color. Where do we look first?
We have to go down. You bypass the main storefronts, and you find a flight of worn stone stairs leading down into a basement.
And that's where we find this silent sanctuary of knowledge.
A used bookstore that's basically frozen in time. The air is cool and still. It smells of aging paper and dust. And the shelves are just crammed.
A living archive.
Exactly. Cloth-bound volumes, some in English, many in Amharic, documenting these crucial moments in the nation's history. In a place that's seen so much political upheaval, a bookstore like this is an anchor.
Quietly ensuring the stories aren't lost.
In the rush of the present day, yeah.
So you have this silence, which is so heavy with political history. But then you emerge back into the sunlight.
And you are immediately confronted by the fierce energy of the contemporary moment.
You turn a corner.
And the dull concrete walls of the neighborhood just explode with color. We're talking about the city's growing street art scene.
And these murals aren't just decoration, are they? They're more like visual manifestos.
They are telling modern stories on ancient canvases. These are young, visionary artists using huge public spaces to talk about themes that resonate with the younger generation.
Like social justice.
Social justice, environmental awareness, and a really powerful sense of Pan-African pride.
It's the ultimate fusion. The quiet, guarded history of the basement right next to the loud, bold, utterly contemporary expression of the mural just outside.
That tension really defines Addis's personality. It shows that resilience is multifaceted. It's silent preservation, and it's also a vocal, artistic